the alternate two can either be appointed with or without a term limit. The alternate can be appointed with or without voting privileges. So if you appoint them with a voting privileges, basically they can act on behalf of the two directors. At the KMEA meetings, only each member has one vote, so you send two directors, they'll only record one vote. So what we recommend is that if you all would like to consider one of your members as an alternate director, that would be fine. The only proviso is they have to be a resident of the city.
I'm guessing if we send an alternate director, it's because one of the primary directors can't make it. So then we want them to have voting rights.
For student, yeah, I would say voting rights.
So you're going to want somebody that has some knowledge.
So that a volunteer statement?
No.
Yeah. I think
that is opening it up for discussion. Opening it up for discussion.
Anybody want to?
I'll take it on.
Okay. I make a motion for Lee Moore to serve as alternate director with voting privileges in the event that Director 1 and number 2 are not available.
Second.
Any further discussion? Hearing none. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Unanimous.
Question, would we like a term limit on this or permanent? Until.
Do we want to go, all the other term limits are 2 years,
Yeah,
right?
let's just go
You wanna
2
do
years.
Okay. Very good.
Should we,
It forces us to re-look at things.
does anybody have discussion on that? Should we redo that motion?
Well, I just make a new motion that the alternate director will have voting privileges for a 2-year term.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Very good. I'll prepare the paperwork and present it to council on the next meeting. I think the next one I can hit is I'm losing track of time. Next 21st.
New business item number 6, discuss the recommendation of City Council for KMGA Director 1 and alternate director.
In this case, basically both, in one case the director is Kevin Rose on the staff. His term expires at the end of August. Our alternate is Bill Krawcheck, who's no longer with us. So we would need to appoint a director and an alternate director. In the case of KMGA, residency is not a requirement, unlike KMEA. So what our recommendation would be to appoint one of your members as the director, and we would recommend appointing Mr. Rose as the alternate director so he could attend on your behalf. Also with Mr. Rose, we'd recommend with voting privileges and probably term limit, 2 years to match the director.
What's the difference in the number of events versus KMGA versus
same events, they usually are lockstep together. So you'd have a spring event, as I recall it was in May, and then the fall would be November. Always in Wichita.
From my standpoint, it would make sense to diversify who does what, but at the same time, I could see the benefit of having the director as one of our members be somebody that we already will probably be sending with KMEA, particularly the lockstep. So we now have Lance most likely at a meeting, potentially Lee. So to me, it makes sense that we go one of two routes. We either say one of those two will already be there. We'll send one of you as director, or let's diversify and spread it amongst the other three. So that up for discussion.
I'm okay either way.
Lance or Lee to the director, and then leave Evan as alternate director, or move Evan to alternate director.
So, I mean, the worst case scenario in that scenario would be, I'm the alternate. If I were the director, then we would not have, and you were absent, I would be acting in both capacities.
Right, but you'd have that same thing if he's the director, and he can make it, and then if he's in both
And he's
capacities.
in both capacities.
So it's,
So if he's not, if he's the director, then it would be myself and Evan both going, because I would be the alternate for Lance. And then Evan would, wait a second.
Well, that's a KMEA, right, versus KMDA?
Yeah.
So Lance. So Lance and David Frank are already there, and then you're the alternate to the KMEA, right?
Right.
Now, those meetings take place at the same time, you said, or?
They're back to back, so they'll be,
right, one person could go to both.
right.
Oh, so then.
You're already in the same place, you already traveled,
Already there,
so on and
yeah.
so forth. But also, that's a little bit more time commitment. Can't make motions.
Can I be director, KG?
I'll do it.
I make a motion for Lee Moore to be director number 1 for KG.
Would you like to also specify alternate director?
And Evan Rose for alternate director.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
It is unanimous.
And just to clarify, we will go ahead and have the alternate with voting rights and a 2-year term.
Correct.
Okay.
Business item number 7, project updates.
Project update, I'll crank through that. Basically, substation number 1, we completed the testing and wiring for transformer 1 last week and energized it. This week we had an issue with the controls for transformer 2, got that fixed, diagnosed and energized transformer 2 on Monday. So neither one of them is, well, transformer 1 is the generator transformer. Transformer 2 has 2 circuits. We haven't put circuits on them coming up with a long weekend, but next week we'll go ahead and shift the 2 circuits off of substation 2 back to transformer 2. So they are running. On Tuesday, we did plan to test run generator 2, had it up, had it running. The sync meter was syncing, however, the breaker wouldn't trip, so we couldn't push power out. So we're diagnosing that. I think that's Dave's main thing, and you're thinking maybe next
week, if things work out right.
next week. So we'll have the transformer, the substations back up and functioning. Plan to have generator 2 back online and available for service next week. Generator 1 still has some wiring issues they were working on when the raccoon got us like September, and jump back on that and get generator 1 up and running. That's the substation report. On substation 2, we finally got the contract back, documents back from Eaton for the bus duct and switchgear upgrade for transformer 4. That was awarded by council May 16th for $124,300. At this point, they've got, I think as I recall, 240 days now to get this work done. I think they're already starting with their shop drawings, that sort of thing. So that'll be next fall. On generation, as I mentioned, generator 2 was started on Tuesday. We had an issue. We've got to get that fixed up, and generator 1 will follow. We also completed the scope of work and contract negotiations with Bill Fish for controls, on-call control services. Received a contract where we ended up with setting it at an hourly rate with a $10,000 maximum. Basically, we would submit monthly reports. If nothing was going on, we don't expect him to send us a bill. If we have issues, at least he's updated and he can start billing us. He has 2 specific projects, one of which would be to help spec out